Every night they say your soul travels out of your body while you sleep. It travels to places so beautiful, magical, and so surreal that when you wake up, you forget everything. When you see a much more different reality than what you experienced in your so-called dream state. However, sometimes there are experiences that don't stay in your head, but in your heart. Just like my most recent experience in the night ship. You see, it didn't all just end there at the end of the ship. Right in the dark, where a million stars twinkled clearly in the sky, and a desperate man who kept shouting my name all over a ship as he searched through every deck. I was quiet, pensive, and without a doubt, shocked. I just couldn't believe such sweet words were uttered to me. I was practically in disbelief. A shadow from behind me appeared after the yelling of my name was no longer heard. I turned around and it was him, sad looking and concerned. "My goodness," he said, in a soft, concerned voice. "I didn't mean to startle you. My lady, allow me to..." "No, it's me who needs to apologize. I just don't know how." I paused for a second as a gust of wind hit the ship to the side, tossing him over me before I finished the sentence. As we fell to the wooden floor, we heard the crewmen yell, "We must get inside. A storm is coming." "I think we have to get going," he whispered to my face as we were on the wooden floor getting up. "What's going on?" I said. "The Nordic winds. Happens all the time." He paused and quickly he helped me up. "Where are we going?" I yelled to the wind. "To the captain's cabin," he said. He paused and he said, "We must go now." We started to hurry through the rain and the wind. Barely seeing anything forward, I just held onto his hand as soon as he knew where we were headed. Finally, after all of the Shuffling and rushing, we went through. I heard a wooden door snap open. As the cold drops dripped down on my face and clothing, I was literally all wet. Inside this cavern were dimly lit candle lights that were softly flickering back and forth, with old candle wax dripping down. There was a table with a large map with several X marks on locations. There was also a red bed to the far right corner. By the time I was done exploring the dim-lit room, I heard a voice behind me say, as he handed me some clothes, "Go on, change. I'll wait outside." And he went outside with the horrible weather before I could say, "Wait." But before I started, I looked through this foggy, dirty, round window where I had to force my vision through the rain. There he was, with his shirt off, taking off his boots as he hurried on the rain, sitting in a wooden box. So I stopped and I paused, and I quickly changed into the old sweater and knitting soft pants. So once I was done, I immediately yelled at him to come inside. So he walked in, all drenched in water, shirtless, with his hair wet and curly, and an intense stare in his face. A glance that simply penetrated my soul. So he stood there for what seemed eternity, until he broke the silence with a sarcastic "Hi." And I smiled and said, "Is this crazy or what?" And he said, "I don't know what else to say. If this isn't, I don't know what else is." And we both broke into laughing. And then a silence broke in the cavern, and I began to glance around again. "So, is this your place?" "It is," as he went onto the map and started to point at the treasures, explaining their locations. "Have you found any treasures yet?" He lifted his head from the table and glanced at me intensely and said, "Come sit down," as he walked to the red sofa bed and looked into my eyes and sincerely said, "I found mine." Right there and then, I knew he was referring to me. So again, I tried to change the conversation. "No, I mean the treasures," referring to the gold. He looked down, and all I saw was the flickering facade of his face by the dim, warm candlelight. And he continued on saying, "My love, each one of these X's represent a locational deck where our treasures will be found for each man on board. We have been searching for eternity, night after night, for each of our very own treasures. Only a few have found one. And that is our gold. That is the reward. Very few enter through the dream state gates. And you did a second time. And I hope this time you stay with me because I don't know if there will be a third time. Dominic, I have a life, I told him, as sincerely as I could without trying to sound cold. I got close to his ear and said, I can come every night. His eyes lit up and paused. There's only one chance left for that gate to the dream world to be open. You've entered twice to this realm. If you leave tonight, you will only have one chance to come back. An awkward silence came after that sour fact, and he cleared his throat. Are you cold? Trying to change the conversation. For you. He fidgeted and went for a blanket. The aroma in the room was so alluring. It smelled like roses. I laid down to savor the beautiful ambience. He panicked and said, Oh God, no, don't. He rushed to me. Don't fall asleep without first giving me an answer. Why? I asked. Because if you do, you will wake up in 3D Earth, and I would never know if you would stay here with me in 5D Earth. I stood up and I lifted his face softly, and he gave me a cold stare, and our face slowly started to go into one another, till we kissed. From the outside of the window, you can see the two people in the magical kaleidoscope, where the candles flickered at all angles. I paused and I said, I know of a way. I know of a way. This can work. He said, how? Chaos magic. I said. What? He said with a confused stare. Yes, follow me. I ran to the door and he ran and got in the way. And he said, wait, what are you doing? I'm going to jump off the ship so my body and spirit can come to this realm. What? No, you've gone mad, he said, putting his hands around my face and started to kiss my face profoundly and madly. I also let go of the moment, and I too returned his kisses passionately. We both laid down slowly, kissing each other's body, and the shadows of our bodies were seen consumed by the candlelight. And I remember this unforgettable magical night every time life seems unbearable. Because I know if one day I cannot withstand the destiny that was put in front of me, I knew I had the comfort of knowing that I had one more definite chance to go back to that place of serenity, love, and peace, and that somebody would be waiting for me there. I knew he would be waiting for me there. I know he waits for my return, and I know that someday I will be there. And every night during the full moon, I see a ghost ship sail through the sky. And I wave, knowing that he sees me, and that he too is